What is going on, YouTube? Dad with a bike. And in today's video, I'm actually going to walk through a build that I would do on the Indian Scout. It's actually the Indian Scout 60 if I were to go back in time and buy the whole Scout thing again. So if you're interested in what I would do and like how I would mod that and why I think that's actually a better option for you, or for many people, if you're really looking to modify your bike for uber performance, stick around. I think you'll like it. Alright, y'all, thanks for sticking around. If you are new to the channel, just stopping by, do me a favor, hit the subscribe. Help me grow this channel. I do this content for you, so helping me grow it, keeps me invigorated. And also, if you are interested in saving some money, if you look down in the description, there's a couple of links. One is for Dean Speed. You get a discount with them. And the other one is Throttle Addikt. So go check out Throttle Addikt. I am an ambassador for Throttle Addikt, so go check out their clothes. I like their clothes. The hats, stickers, they got good stuff. So we're going to have this conversation while I'm cruising down the freeway. I am on the freeway. I do not like freeway riding. However, I've got a place to be. I got to go down to San Antonio for a football game. San Antonio for a football game. My son is playing in. It's playoff time, so I got to head down that direction and watch him play some foosball. But while we're riding, I figured we're going to actually walk through. I was thinking about this a while back, probably because I see a lot of stuff coming across like Facebook and some forums and stuff where people kind of dog the Indian Scout 60. They're like, oh, don't get that, get the big Scout. And I'm going to tell you why they're wrong. First and foremost, the Indian Scout 60 is a far cheaper bike to buy. Its entry cost brand new is like $9 grand. You can buy them used for next to nothing. And you can actually make them just as fast as a regular Scout with some modifications. So I may have piqued your interest and you're probably saying, oh my god, what modifications? Dad with a bike, I just bought an Indian Scout 60. Help me make it uber fast. Well, I got you. First and foremost, I would buy an Indian Scout 60. And I think that if I were to redo this whole thing again, I may do that. I probably would have done that. Now, I don't regret buying the Indian Scout Bobber. I love it. They didn't have the Indian Scout Bobber 60 back when I bought it. Or did they? I don't think so. Anyway, but I bought this one instead. However, like I said, I think I probably would go in and buy that 60. I'd go back in time and buy that 60. Cheaper, and it would have given me more funds available, more monies, to do some crazy stuff. Now, this is all about performance. I'm going to assume that you would end up doing things like seat, handlebars, and blah, blah, blah. But here's how you make an Indian Scout 60 spank almost any bike on the road and in a quarter mile for a lot less money than you would if you were to do the same thing to a regular Scout. Sometime last year, or maybe it was the year before last, a big bore kit came out for the Indian Scout and the Indian Scout 60. This big bore kit turns this bike, or it turns the 60, into a 79 cubic inch or a 1300cc bike. That's a big ass engine for a, well, not engine, it's a big ass displacement. It's a lot of displacement. How's that for such a small bike? I mean, what wet, this bike is 550 pounds. Less if you're doing like aftermarket exhausts. Oh my god, what is the drama? This is why I hate freeways with a passion. Everybody's just drama, drama, drama. So anyway, I would buy that big bore kit. All of these things that I would buy, I'm going to actually link in the description, and I'm going to actually build a cost structure of what this would end up costing if you were to go and do what I'm suggesting. The next thing, of course, I would do is an intake. I'd go probably put a Trask Intake. I have the Trask Intake. I love it. Probably doesn't matter. You know, you could do Trask or SNS or whatever, but, you know, I would do the Trask. I like it. I would also pick a different exhaust. And I'm probably going to get this exhaust anyway and get rid of my Two Brothers, because the Two Brothers exhaust is an underslung exhaust. And I scrape it when I go around corners, like a lot of people do. And I would get an upward slung exhaust, and I'd probably get the Trask 2-in-1 hot rod exhaust, and I'll link it there too. So Trask Intake and a Trask exhaust. And then, of course, I'd slap a PV3 tuner on there so I can make the most out of all this performance that I'm doing. And then I would go take that sucker and get it dynoed. And I bet, willing to bet, that when all that is said and done, I'd probably be pushing 130 horsepower, probably 110-ish pound-foot of torque in an Indian Scout 60. Now the other thing that I would actually add to this also is the Barnett Clutch. You can't add all that much power and keep the stock transmission. The stock clutch sucks, so you've got to rip that out and put a Barnett. In addition to adding the Barnett, I'd probably also put a Heel-Tech quick shifter on it, and then I would call that a day. That would be all of my performance modifications, and I bet there so many other bikes you would just destroy. I mean, the Indian Scout already destroys so many cruisers, most cruisers, if not all cruisers. But you make those modifications and you'd go out on a track, like a quarter-mile track, and you probably just destroy so many other things that would just be so much fun to do. Because you'd have this bike that was purely built for performance, and that would just be so much fun. So let's run through the mods again. So I make sure I got them all. Number 1 is the big bore kit. Number 2 is the Trask Intake. Number 3 is the Trask 2-in-1 hot rod exhaust. Number 4 is a PV3 tuner. Number 5 is a Barnett Clutch. And number 6 would be the Heel-Tech quick shifter. Now some people say, well, yeah, but what about the Recluse clutch? It's like an automatic. No, I don't want an automatic clutch. I don't want the Recluse. I want the Barnett and I want the quick shifter. So it's bam, 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 you know. If you've never ridden a bike with a, I guess the sound I just made it sound more like a dirt bike, but whatever, you get what I mean. But if you've never ridden a bike without or with a quick shifter, you know, you're missing out. It is so much fun to just slam through the gears. Because you don't have to do the clutchless shift bullshit. You just keep the throttle on and you go bam, 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 bam. It's awesome. So that's the build, and I think that's a hella build. Man, if I could do it all over again, I think that's what I would do. You know, I'd still throw my fairing and my handlebars and all that stuff on there, but that bike would be so fast. As a matter of fact, I'm probably certain next year I am going to be putting the big bore kit on this thing anyway. So, you know, I've already got so much money sunk into this bike that me getting rid of it just isn't a thing. Now, I know there's some of you haters that are probably throwing in the comments about the transmission of the Indian Scout 60. And I'm going to give you a lesson in how it actually works. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who just look at it on the surface of saying, yeah, but the Indian Scout has 6 gears and the Scout 60 only has 5. Yes, that is true. However, if you look at the gear ratios, it looks a lot like this, and I'll throw the gear ratio table up there. The gear that the Indian Scout 60 is actually missing is 5th gear. That's the one it's missing. 1st gear, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 4th gear is the exact same ratio as a full-on Scout. The Indian Scout 60 5th gear is the same ratio as the Indian Scout, or the Indian Scout 60 5th gear, let me correct myself, is the actual gear ratio of an Indian Scout 6th gear. So the one that's missing is 5. And I promise you, if you do these modifications, you ain't worrying about no 5th gear. You're going to be hitting your top end in 4th gear and probably still have some left over. So I know when I get out and I do that kind of stuff and I'm like ripping through my gears, I hit 130 and yeah, I thought 130 and about 4th anyway, about. And then so all I do then is I back off because I don't want to go any faster than that when I'm out on the road. If I could get on a track, I'd probably have more fun. But you know, if I'm just like racing, or really getting on it, I only ever need 4th gear. The other 2 gears, like 5th and 6th, are just like, aha, shift up, I'm cruising. Throw on cruise control, enjoy myself. It's that 1st through 4th that are the money makers for the Indian Scout platform. And I think Indian knew that. That's why the Scout 60's got 1 through 4, the same as the Scout 1 through 4. So anyway, I'm going to shut it down now because I have exposed my Sorry, I completely forgot what I was saying because my GPS jumped in and told me there's a massive slowdown and blah, blah, blah. So I think I was shutting it down, which is what I was doing. I'm going to end this video right here. I've given you the build. I think it's an awesome build. If there's somebody out there that wants to give me the money and the bike to go do that, I'll do it happily. But anyway, you know, use it for what you will. I think it would make a pretty kick-ass bike. It definitely would be a Slayer on two wheels. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be kind to one another and all that good stuff. And if I don't talk to y'all or y'all don't see me by for Thanksgiving or somewhere in and around Thanksgiving, y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat plenty of turkey. And we'll see you when we see you. I love y'all. Peace.